You could have the perfect idea, the right skills, the drive, but what if I told you the single biggest factor in your success isn't actually you? It's your location. Some places are like a cheat code for getting rich. Others make it nearly impossible. So let's decode this wealth map together. We get told this all the time, right? That our success is 100% in our own hands. But is it really? The truth is, your personal effort is just one piece of the puzzle. The game board itself is tilted, and where you decide to play, well, that matters more than you can imagine. So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get into why your location drastically changes your odds. Then we'll zoom out to the macro map, entire countries. From there, we'll zoom in on the micro map of cities. Then we'll uncover the invisible rules of the game. And finally, we'll look at the playbook the wealthy use to navigate this whole thing. Okay, let's just start with a fundamental truth. The game board of success is not level. It is absolutely tilted. Where you stand fundamentally changes your chances of winning. And it's not just about your talent, it's about the entire environment around you. To make this real, just imagine starting the exact same business in two very different places. In Silicon Valley, you've got venture capital, reliable internet, and customers with money to spend. Now try that same business in Caracas. You're fighting hyperinflation and constant power outages. Same great idea, completely different worlds. All right, let's zoom out to the broadest layer of our map, entire economies. Because here's the deal. Millionaires don't just pop up randomly across the globe. They cluster. They show up in strong nations where the entire system is built for growth. And if you need proof, just look at this number, 23 million. That's how many millionaires are in the US alone. That is more than Germany, the UK, Japan, and France combined. The difference isn't ambition. It's the economic sandbox you get to play in. So what's the secret sauce? What makes an economy fertile ground for wealth? It's not just one thing. It's a powerful mix of three key pillars: solid infrastructure, big markets, and deep pools of capital. Let's dig into what each of those really means. First up, infrastructure. Honestly, think of it like soil. You can have the best seed in the world, but if the ground is dry and rocky, nothing's gonna grow. We're talking about reliable electricity, fast internet, good roads. It's the plumbing that lets wealth flow. Second, you need markets. It's pretty simple. You don't get rich selling things to people who have no money. Disposable income is the oxygen for a business. It's the reason someone can sell a $7 coffee in San Francisco while millions of people elsewhere live on less than $2 a day. And third, you need capital. This is the fuel for the fire. The most brilliant ideas in the world die without funding. Back in 2024, US venture capital funding was over $250 billion. That's more than entire continents raised. Access to that kind of fuel is a total game changer. If you want the ultimate, most dramatic case study, just look at the Korean Peninsula. Same people, same culture, same starting point, but South Korea plugged into global markets and innovation. North Korea chose isolation. The results? Well, they speak for themselves. That's how much the system matters. Okay, but even inside the richest countries, wealth isn't spread out evenly. So now let's zoom into the micromap. We're talking cities. This is where wealth and opportunity get super concentrated into these little hubs of success. And here's a statistic that is just wild. More than half of all the world's billionaires live in just 10 cities, not 10 countries, 10 cities. Think about that level of concentration of money, talent, and influence. It's incredible. So why do cities become these powerful magnets for wealth? It's not an accident. It comes down to a potent mix of three things. They have powerful ecosystems, incredible density, and a unique culture of ambition you just don't find everywhere. Think about it this way. Cities are basically brands, and they are all competing with each other. New York's brand is finance. LA is the entertainment capital. Dubai markets itself on tax freedom. They are actively fighting to attract the very best talent and the biggest money. Now we're going to dive into the deepest layer of the map because it's not just about where the money is, it's about the invisible rules, the laws, the taxes, and the culture that decide how much you can build and maybe more importantly, how much of it you actually get to keep. So the whole game is governed by these three big rules. First, the law. It protects what you build. Second, taxes. They decide what you keep. And third, culture. This one shapes what you even dare to try to build in the first place. Let me give you a really clear example of how the law works in practice. The World Bank tracks this. In Singapore, to enforce a business contract, it takes about 120 days. In India, it's over 1,400 days. That is nearly 4 years of legal limbo just to get paid. For a small business, that difference is everything. Next up, taxes. The differences from place to place are just massive. You have Monaco with 0 personal income tax. Then you have France, where it can be over 45%. Even inside the US, California's state tax is so high, it's caused a huge migration of founders to zero-tax states like Texas. It really hammers home the point. It's not just what you earn, it's what you keep. And these rules can totally reshape a country's future. A single policy, like Ireland's 12.5% corporate tax, turned the whole country into a global tech hub. Estonia created e-residency, and boom, it became a hotspot for digital entrepreneurs. Smart rules are a massive multiplier.
So we've explored all the different layers of the map. Now for the final piece. How do the wealthy actually use this knowledge? They don't just pick one spot and stay there. They play the entire map strategically, mixing and matching for the best results.
This whole strategy actually has a name. It's called geo-arbitrage. And the idea is simple, but incredibly powerful. You unbundle your life. You live where the quality of life is great, you set up your company where the taxes are low, and you sell your products to customers in the world's richest markets. And here's the coolest part. This playbook isn't just for the super rich anymore. The future of wealth is becoming borderless. We're seeing these huge new digital markets growing like crazy in places like India, Africa, and Southeast Asia. Technology is making it possible to build from anywhere and sell to everywhere. For most of human history, your location was your destiny. Where you were born pretty much decided your path in life. But today, with technology and a global economy, you have more control than ever before. The map is open to anyone who knows how to read it. So the question is, what will you make of it?